Hey everybody. So I have been on a bit of a journey today and just some lessons that God has been sharing with me. About a year ago, I shared something very similar. This Friday is often known as Quitter's Day. It's the second Friday of the new year, typically about 2 weeks from the beginning of a new year. So people who have made resolutions or plans, often this kind of upcoming weekend is when most people have quit with their resolutions, have given up. All these promises to themselves of what they're going to change or what they're going to do. Often about 2 weeks, life kicks in again, the holidays are over, the pressures of everything just come upon us, and the status quo returns. Regular life comes back. And on that thought, I was looking at my kitchen today, and I have told my wife many, many times, oh, I got to fix the cupboards. Oh, I got to fix the kitchen. Oh, I got to update this. And I've done that not just with the kitchen, but many things in my life where I just tell myself things I have to do or that I'm going to do, but then I never do anything about it. It's more just kind of that wishful thinking, like, oh, this, we really got to fix this, or we really got to change this part of the house or part of my life. Or when it comes to faith, I'm going to read the Bible more, I'm going to pray more, things like that. We say it, but then do we back it up? Do we do anything to see these things fulfilled? Or are we just maybe putting it out there in the world and hoping somehow it's going to get done? I find not just in faith, but like I said, when it's my house or other things, that sometimes it's just throwing it out there. But I haven't put a plan in place. I haven't taken steps to see these promises or these hopes fulfilled. When we talk about our spirit and wanting to grow in the fruit of the Spirit, and this was another thing that I've been thinking about, to grow in the fruit of the Spirit, we have to plant ourselves in God, in relationship with Him, in His Word. We got to be watered by the living water. We got to be fed. But if we never plant anything, we never water it, we never nurture it, then how do we expect the fruit of the Spirit to grow? In Proverbs 20, verse 4, it says, the sluggards do not plow in the season. So when the harvest time comes, they look around and see nothing. We can have hope for the harvest and a desire of what we want to see in our life. But if we don't put in the work and the commitment, then when the harvest time comes, that fruit will not have grown. Now, I'm not saying here that salvation comes by works, so please understand that. But when we tell ourselves we want to grow closer to God, or we want to grow closer in our family, or grow in faith, or grow in any aspect of the fruit of the Spirit, but then we do nothing to see it come, when the harvest time comes and we look back or we wait for it to come, it's not going to be there. Evan Almighty, that's an older movie now, but I remember watching it, and I've seen it a few times since then, but the quote at the end with God when he's talking to Evan's wife and says, you've prayed for patience and you've prayed for courage and all these things. But he says, you think when you pray for patience that you just automatically are given patience, or does God give you opportunities to grow in patience? Or if you pray for courage, is it just boom, you have courage, or is there opportunities for you to grow and display courage? If you're praying to be closer to your family, is it just, boom, you got warm, fuzzy feelings and your family's close? Or is there opportunities being presented in which we can nurture and grow closer in our families? And I think God does this to us. He really does, where we pray to help us grow closer to Him or to know Him more. And He gives us these opportunities. He gives us these abilities too. He's always knocking on the door, always saying, here I am. Read your word. Spend time in prayer with me. Go out and serve. Go in fellowship with other believers. Share. Live out your faith so that the fruit of the Spirit can nurture and grow. And then when the harvest time comes, when you do look back and you see the work of the plowing and the planting and the nurturing, you will see the bearing of good spiritual fruit. So I encourage you, don't quit here this weekend on Quitter's Day if you have made any decisions to grow closer to God. But also, don't just have wishful thinking. Keep telling yourself that things are going to change, but pray, God, show me the ways. Teach me how I can grow closer to you, or teach me how I can grow in faith. Teach me how I can grow in obedience. Teach me how to plant seeds of faith, how to nurture it, how to grow in it, so that when the harvest comes, when I look back at this year, I would see the bearing of good spiritual fruit. God bless. Take care.